The Path of Purification, Visuddhimagga, of Bhadantācariya Buddhaghosa, published by the Buddhist Publication Society, Kandy, Sri Lanka. Part 2. Concentration, Samadhi.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Chapter 7. 6 Recollections, Cha Anusati Nidesa. Extracts passage 46 to 67. Incomparable leader of men to be tamed. In the absence of anyone more distinguished for special qualities than himself, there is no one to compare with him. Thus, he is incomparable. For in this way, he surpasses the whole world in a special quality of virtue and also in a special qualities of concentration, understanding, deliverance, and knowledge and vision of deliverance. In the special quality of virtue, he is without equal. He is the equal only of those other enlightened ones, without equal. He is without like, without double, without counterpart. In the special quality of knowledge and vision of deliverance, he is without counterpart. According as it is said, I do not see in the world, with its deities, its maras, and its brahmas, in this generation, with its ascetics and brahmans, with its princes and men, anyone more perfect in virtue than myself. With the rest in detail, and likewise in the Agappasada Sutta, and so on, and in the stanzas beginning, I have no teacher, and my like does not exist in all the world, all of which should be taken in detail. He guides Sarti, men to be tamed, Purisa Dhamme. Thus, he is leader of men to be tamed, Purisa Dhamma Sarti. He tames, he disciplines, is what is meant. Herein, animal males Purisa and human males and non-human males that are not tame but fit to be tamed, Dhammetung Yutta, are meant to be tamed, Purisa Dhamma. For the animal males, namely the royal naga, serpent, Apalala, Chuladara, Mahodara, Agisika, Dumasika, the royal naga Aravala, the elephant Dhanapalaka, and so on, were tamed by the Blessed One, freed from the poison of defilement, and established in the refuges and the precepts of virtue. And also the human males, namely Sachaka, the Niganta's giant son, the Brahman student Ambata, Pokarasati, Sonadanda, Kutadanta, and so on. And also the non-human males, namely the spirits Alavaka, Suchiloma, and Karaloma, Sakka, ruler of gods, etc., were tamed and disciplined by various disciplinary means, and the following sutta should be given in full here. I discipline men to be tamed, sometimes gently, Kasi, and I discipline them sometimes roughly, and I discipline them sometimes gently and roughly. Then the Blessed One, moreover, further tames those already tamed, doing so by announcing the first jhana, etc., respectively to those whose virtue is purified, etc., and also the way to the higher path, to stream antares, and so on. Or alternatively, the words incomparable leader of men to be tamed can be taken together as one clause. For the Blessed One so guides men to be tamed that in a single session they may go in the 8 directions by the 8 liberations without hesitation. Thus, he is called the incomparable leader of men to be tamed. And the following sutta passage should be given in full here, guided by the elephant tamer. Bhikkhus, the elephant to be tamed, goes in one direction. Teacher of gods and men, he teaches anusasati by means of the here and now, of the life to come, and of the ultimate goal, according as befits the case. Thus, he is the teacher, sattar. And furthermore, this meaning should be understood according to the Nidesa thus. Teacher, sattar, the Blessed One, is a caravan leader, sattar, since he brings home caravans, satta. Just as one who brings the caravan home gets caravans across a wilderness, gets them across a robber-infested wilderness, gets them across a wild beast-infested wilderness, gets them across a foodless wilderness, gets them across a waterless wilderness, gets them right across, gets them quite across, gets them properly across, gets them to reach a land of safety. So too, the Blessed One is a caravan leader, one who brings home the caravans. He gets them across a wilderness, gets them across the wilderness of birth. Of gods and men, Deva Manusanam, Devanam cha Manusanam cha, resolution of compound. This is said in order to denote those who are the best and also to denote those persons capable of progress. For the Blessed One, as a teacher, bestowed his teaching upon animals as well. For when animals can, through listening to the Blessed One's Dhamma, acquire the benefit of a suitable rebirth as support for progress, and with the benefit of that same support they come, in their second or third rebirth, to partake of the path and its fruition. Manduka, the deity's son, and others illustrate this. While the Blessed One was teaching the Dhamma to the inhabitants of the city of Champa on the banks of the Gagara lake, it seems a frog, Manduka, apprehended a sign in the Blessed One's voice. A cowherd who was standing leaning on a stick put his stick on the frog's head and crushed it. He died and was straightway reborn in a gilded divine palace, 12 leagues broad in the realm of the 33 Tavatimsa. He found himself there as if waking up from sleep amidst a host of celestial nymphs, and he exclaimed, "So I have actually been reborn here. What deed did I do?" When he sought for the reason, he found it was none other than his apprehension of the sign in the Blessed One's voice. He went with his divine palace at once to the Blessed One and paid homage at his feet. Though the Blessed One knew about this, he asked him, "Who now pays homage at my feet, shining with glory of success, illuminating all around with beauty so outstanding? In my last life, I was a frog, the waters of a pond, my home. A cowherd's crook ended my life while listening to your Dhamma." The Blessed One taught him the Dhamma. 84,000 creatures gained penetration to the Dhamma. As soon as a deity's son became established in the fruition of stream entry, he smiled and then vanished. Enlightened. He is enlightened, Buddha, with the knowledge that belongs to the fruit of liberation. Since everything that can be known has been discovered, Buddha, by him, or alternatively, he discovered Buddhi, the Four Truths by himself, and awakened Bodhesi, others to them. Thus, and for other such reasons, he is enlightened Buddha. And in order to explain this meaning, the whole passage in the Nidesa beginning thus, he is the discoverer, Bodhitar of the truths. Thus, he is enlightened Buddha. He is the awakened Buddhatar of the generation. Thus, he is enlightened Buddha. Or the same passage from the Patisambhida should be quoted in detail. Blessed Bhagavan is a term signifying the respect and veneration accorded to him as the highest of all beings and distinguished by his special qualities. Hence the ancients said, "Blessed is the best of words. Blessed is the finest word, deserving awe and veneration. Blessed is the name, therefore." Or alternatively, names are of four kinds, denoting a period of life, describing a particular mark, signifying a particular acquirement, and fortuitously arisen, which last, in the current usage of the world, is called capricious. Herein, names denoting a period of life are those such as yearling calf, vacha, steer to be trained, Dhamma, yoke ox, balivada, and the like. Names describing a particular mark are those such as staff bearer, Dandin, umbrella bearer, Chatin, top knot wearer, Shikin, hand possessor, Karin, elephant, and the like. Names signifying a particular acquirement are those such as possessor of the threefold clear vision, Devija, possessor of the six direct knowledges, Chalabhinya, and the like. Such names are Sirivadaka, augmenter of luster, Dhanavadaka, augmenter of wealth, etc., are fortuitously arisen names. They have no reference to the word meanings. This name, blessed, is one signifying a particular acquirement. It is not made by Mahamaya or by King Suddhodana or by the 80,000 kinsmen or by distinguished deities like Sakka, Santusita, and others. And this is said by the general of the law. Blessed, this is not a name made by her mother. This name, Buddha, which signifies final liberation, is a realistic description of Buddhas, enlightened ones, the blessed ones, together with the obtainment of omniscient knowledge at the root of an enlightenment tree. Now, in order to explain also the special qualities signified by this name, they cite the following stanza. Bhagi, Bhaji, Bhagi, Vibattatva, Iti, Akasi, Bhagang, Tigaruti, Bhagayava, Bahuhi, Nayehi, Subhavitatano, Bhavantago, Subhagava, Divuchati. The Reverend One, Garu, has blessings, Bhagi, is a frequenter, Bhaji, a partaker, Bhagi, a possessor of what has been analyzed, Vibhatattva. He has caused abolishing, Bhagga. He is fortunate, Bhaggayava. He has fully developed himself, Subha Vitatano, in many ways. He has gone to the end of becoming Bhavantago, thus is called Blessed Bhagava. The meaning of these words should be understood according to the method of explanation given in the Nidesa. But there is this other way. Bhagayava, Bhagava, Yutto Bhagehi Cha, Vibhatatva, Bhattava, Vanta, Kamano, Bhavesu, Bhagavatato. He is fortunate, Bhagayava, possessed of abolishment, Bhagava, associated with blessings, Yutto Bhagehi, and a possessor of what has been analyzed, Vibhatatva. He has frequented Bhattava, and he has rejected going in the kinds of becoming, Vanta, Gamano, Bhavesu. Thus, he is blessed, Bhagava. Herein, by using the characteristic of language, beginning with vowel augmentation of syllable, elision of syllable, or by using the characteristics of insertion, beginning with the example of Pisodara, etc. See Panini and Ganapata. It may be known that he can also be called Blessed Bhagava when he can be called Fortunate Bhagayava, owing to the fortunateness Bhagaya to have reached the further shore of the ocean of perfection, of giving, virtue, etc., which produce mundane and supramundane bliss. Similarly, he can also be called Blessed Bhagava when he can be called possessed of abolishment, Bhaggava, owing to the following menaces having been abolished, for he has abolished abhanyanti, all the 100,000 kinds of trouble, anxiety, and defilement, classed as greed, as hate, as delusion, and as misdirected attention, as consciencelessness and shamelessness, as anger and enmity, as contempt and domineering, as envy and avarice, as deceit and fraud, as obduracy and presumption, as pride and haughtiness, as vanity and negligence, as craving and ignorance, as three roots of the unprofitable kinds of misconduct, defilement, stains, fictitious perceptions, applied thoughts and diversifications, as the four perversenesses, cankers, ties, floods, bonds, bad ways, cravings and clingings, as the five wildernesses in the heart, shackles in the heart, hindrances, and kinds of delight, as the 6 roots of discord and groups of craving, as the 7 inherent tendencies, as the 8 wrongnesses, as the 9 things rooted in craving, as the 10 causes of unprofitable action, as the 62 kinds of false view, as the 108 ways of behavior of craving, or in brief, the 5 maras, that is to say, the maras of defilement, of the aggregates, and of karma formations, Mara as a deity, and Mara as death. And in this context, it is said, he has abolished Vagga, greed and hate, delusion too. He is canker-free, abolished every evil state. Blessed his name may rightly be. And by his fortunateness, Bhagayavata is indicated the excellence of his material body, which bears 100 characteristics of merit, and by his having abolished defects, Bhaggadosata, is indicated the excellence of his Dhamma body. Likewise, by his fortunateness is indicated the esteem of worldly people, and by his having abolished defects, the esteem of those who resemble him, and by his fortunateness it is indicated that he is fit to be relied on by laymen, and by his having abolished defects, that he is fit to be relied on by those gone forth into homelessness. And when both have relied on him, they acquire relief from bodily and mental pain, as well as help with both material and Dhamma gifts, and they are rendered capable of finding both mundane and supramundane bliss. He is also called Blessed Bhagava, since he is associated with blessings, Bhagehi Yutata, such as those of the following kind, in the sense that he has those blessings, Bhaga Asa Santi. Now in the world, the word blessing is used for 6 things, namely, lordship, Dhamma, fame, glory, wish, and endeavor. He has supreme lordship over his own mind, either of the kind reckoned as mundane and consisting in minuteness, likeness, etc., or that complete in all aspects, and likewise the supramundane Dhamma. And he has exceedingly pure fame, spread through the 3 worlds, acquired though the special quality of veracity, and he has glory of all limbs, perfect in every aspect, which is capable of comforting the eyes of people eager to see his material body. And he has his wish, in other words, the production of what is wanted, since whatever is wanted and needed by him as beneficial to himself or others is then and there produced for him. And he has the endeavor, in other words, the right effort, which is the reason why the whole world venerates him. He can also be called Blessed Bhagava, when he can be called a possessor of what has been analyzed, Vivatava, owing to his having analyzed and clarified all states into the 3 classes, beginning with the profitable or profitable etc. states into such classes as aggregates, bases, elements, truths, faculties, dependent origination, etc., or the noble truth of suffering into the senses of oppressing, being formed, burning, and changing, and that of origin into the senses of accumulating source, bond, and impediment, and that of cessation into the senses of escape, seclusion, being unformed and deathless, and that of the path into the senses of outlet, course, seeing, and predominance, having analyzed, having revealed, having shown them, is what is meant. He can also be called blessed, Bhagava, when he can be called one who has frequented Bhattava, owing to his having frequented Bhaji, cultivated, repeatedly practiced such mundane and supramundane, higher than human states as the heavenly, the divine, and the noble abidings, as bodily, mental, and existential seclusion, as the void, the desireless, and the signless liberations, and others as well. He can also be called blessed, Bhagava, when he can be called one who has rejected going in the kinds of becoming, Vantagamano Bhavesu, because in the three kinds of becoming, Bhava, the going, Gamana, in other words, craving has been rejected, Vanta, by him, and the syllables Ba from the word Bhava, and Ga from the word Gamana, and Va from the word Vanta, with the latter a lengthen, make the word Bhagava, just as is done in the world of the grammarians outside the dispensation with the word Mekhala, waist girdle, since garland for the private parts can be said. As long as the meditator recollects the special qualities of the Buddha in this way, for this and this reason, the Blessed One is accomplished. For this and this reason, he is blessed. Then, on that occasion, his mind is not obsessed by greed, or obsessed by hate, or obsessed by delusion. His mind has rectitude on that occasion, being inspired by the Perfect One. So when he has thus suppressed the hindrances by preventing obsession by greed, etc., and his mind faces the meditation subject with rectitude, then his applied thought and sustained thought occur with a tendency toward the enlightened one's special qualities. As he continues to exercise applied thought and sustained thought upon the enlightened one's special qualities, happiness arises in him, with his mind happy. With happiness as a proximate cause, his bodily and mental disturbances are tranquilized by tranquility. When the disturbances have been tranquilized, bodily and mental bliss arise in him. When he is blissful, his mind, with the enlightened one's special qualities for its object, becomes concentrated, and so the jhana factors eventually arise in a single moment. But owing to the profundity of the enlightened one's special qualities, or else owing to his being occupied in recollecting special qualities of many sorts, the jhana is only access and does not reach absorption. And that access jhana itself is known as recollection of the Buddha too, because it arises with the recollection of the enlightened one's special qualities as the means. When a bhikkhu is devoted to this recollection of the Buddha, he is respectful and deferential towards the Master. He attains fullness of faith, mindfulness, understanding, and merit. He has much happiness and gladness. He conquers fear and dread. He is able to endure pain. He comes to feel as if he were living in a Master's presence. And his body, when the recollection of the Buddha's special qualities dwells in it, becomes as worthy of veneration as a shrine room. His mind tends toward the plane of the Buddhas. When he encounters an opportunity for transgression, he has awareness of conscience and shame as vivid as though he were face to face with the Master. And if he penetrates no higher, he is at least headed for a happy destiny. Now, when a man is truly wise, his constant task will surely be this recollection of the Buddha, blessed with such mighty potency. This, firstly, is a section dealing with the recollection of the Enlightened One in detailed explanation.